Yo, what's good? Adam Stark here. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. I just turned 24, and I'm going to keep doing all this fucking overtime at work, becoming a money whore, and then after that I'll start to becoming a lot more like a sex addict, becoming like a sex addict, and that's one of the things, because I just get erratic and I get crazy and I get ecstatic, like I fucking flip this phone on a different side of it, and then all of a sudden you can't realize the rhymes are getting to the point of crazy and insane, and it's hilarious, not the funny way, but the actual definition of the word, because that's how scary it gets, and it's one of the things I'm changing various definitions of words when I start blaring it, because I'm realizing that things that I can say which are common uses, and I can make them to a different usage. I can do things that were normally used for good and make them evil, and that's just what happens, because it's a common putrid words that are used by stupid people that are not used to putting words together in a useful manner. They just use these words that they hear on TV because they think that since they use it, it's smart enough to use themselves, and I'm just gonna abuse your health. I'll just fucking ruin your wealth. Like I just fucking took off of your bank account, and then I just ranked it down to the fucking level of a third world country, like all these politicians are stealing from. That's what they all do, and it's one of the things. It's just a plan that's not going to fall through. They're going to succeed in every fucking way they can. I hate politicians. I said that before in a different freestyle, but I'm just saying it again, and I'm crazy as it gets. And it's one of the things is Adam Starkey goes off and he just goes on a different tangent, and that's okay because you have it, because I act erratic, because I'm Adam Stark. I'm a battle rapping addict, and I beat these fucking bitches up like I'm rearranging your attic, and I use dynamite to do it, like it was back in the old days where rearranging just meant to destroy everything and turning into the old place. And that's okay. We all have memories of old shitty homes we used to live in, and then we get to better ones, and then hopefully you get home improvement. If not, that's just, unfortunately the way that life goes, and this because this one of the things that it starts out great, and then all of a sudden you get put a hole into it because you get so fucking mad and rageful, you just start punching and throwing punches randomly in every direction, like I do when I'm rapping and getting in a session. I just start throwing punchlines out of nowhere because that's what I am. I'm magnificent, and you can't test me even with the fucking testament, even if it was the new or the old one, or how many versions of that is there, I don't know, but there's only one version of Adam Stark, and that's the one that is rare to come across, a man that can rap as great as me, and that's okay. And I'm just saying me because, gracefully I admit that I'm one of the amazing people that get into this fucking sport, even though my rhymes are always getting people pissed off, and they'll be also sore like a sore loser, and I'll just, it's better to be a sore loser than a born loser, I guess. And then, in fact, you could intertwine that, you could be both at the same time, and I can do that because I can come up with anything, because I have a great mind, and I have a great concept of time, and all of that combined in different ways, and you just can't get across this like you were fucking trying to walk across the vine, and you had more than 7 seconds to do so because you're that slow, and that's what happens when I rhyme, because the vines are only 7 seconds in a loophole, and that was a loophole for an excuse to get that rhyme to make into a metaphor, and that's okay because I'm just saying everything that's ecstatic for the reason that I'm crazy, and my rhymes often get to the point that they're just changing things that weren't always the way that they were, and I'm making it for the new, for the future. I'm getting weight that, because that's getting your weight up. That's what you got to do. You got to stop that, or you will be the biggest loser, like that TV show. The biggest loser happens to be the fat guy that loses the most weight, and then they're going to be the lightest, but they're going to be fat in a different way because they're just rearranging, transforming to the old state of how the body used to be, and back at that time, because times change, and all of a sudden, you go through the flabby stage, and then your belly gets so fucking big and fat, then it gets your whole fucking ass is changed, and it's like, it starts out, fucking just a little bit pudgy, and then all of a sudden it's bloated out, like old yogurt that just, you forgot to fucking throw it out, and it's past the expiration 10 years ago, and you're just like, holy shit, this thing is over 10 years old. The manufacturing date of this thing is amazing. This was way back in the fucking day. It was like, holy shit, that's like past 2006, and you were just rhyming about this, and then when you're sudden, oh, like, why am I talking about expired yogurt and rap? That's what you're thinking. That's okay, because I got you to react. I got you to think about something that you wouldn't have normally thought if you weren't listening to this guy, Adam Stark, when he gets mad, because he says things. And he creates interesting things. I mean, my rhymes go in every single direction, it's always an awful mess, and that's okay, because it's one of those things, I just beat you bitches up. I'm not that stressed. I can take one fucking rhyme that you thought only rhymed with 2 things ever, and I can get that very amazingly, honestly, crazily compromise it, and then get it very often stretched into another fucking meaning, and then, I'll beat the fucking bloody piss out of you. But first, let me make sure the tablecloth is set. I mean, I'll do that first because I got manners. And, I know which fork is the salad fork, and which other fork you got next to it is the one I'm going to stab you with. And then I'm going to beat you to the point we're not going to be able to breathe. And you're going to making that sound, and then you're just going to look at Adam when I fucking come across you. And then I'll beat you down to the point that you don't even have an ounce of any piss left in you, because I'm just going to beat that out of you. That goes out to my enemies that are always trying to get amount of views taken away from me because they just hate for me. They just hate the fact that I come up with the rhymes and I create this scene of amazing, obscene rhymes that are just crazy. And you know that because it's coming from me and not some fucking lame rapper like Jay-Z who stole a bunch of other people's raps and just, made it his own, and then he gets killed in every feature that he has and all that shit. But that doesn't happen to Adam Stark, because when Adam Stark is rapping, it's great, and it's a reaction that's meant to contemplate, to get you to think, to get you to do different things that you would normally do, and that's okay because, I'm just crazy. I'm fucking charging at you because, Adam Stark is a bull. And everything that I say, every fucking crazy rhyme is, just remarkable. And, you might get a scar from me once, then I'll fucking scar you again because you're also remarkable. That's what I fucking say. I just did a fucking crazy double tundra thing right there. That was crazy and it was rare and it was made to the point where all you have to do is sit there and play dead like they used to say to do if you were getting chased by a bear. But, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't actually help you at all. I'm pretty sure the best thing to do is to piss yourself. Then hopefully the bear will get grossed out. It won't actually try to kill it. And it might actually try and kill itself. It might do the opposite of what it was trying to do, which it was trying to hunt you. And then all of a sudden I run out of breath and I have to redo the word I was going to say. If that's okay, because that happens when the air comes through the wrong pipe and then it gets down in the wrong night. It's like, that's what happens when you rhyme fast and you rhyme tight and it gets to the point where you're fucking gasping for air just trying to finish your sentence. I mean, imagine doing that. That's what probably a prisoner feels like when it's in this justice system. I mean, I can assume that. And of course, a lot of them deserve it. But the ones that don't, the ones that go in for just very obscene little crimes with little to no evidence, that sucks for them. And that's okay because it's getting exposed so much, isn't it? No, actually, that's not the truth, because you see what they want to show on TV is put everything awful on mute. They just want to show you the things that are stupid, like you get little fucking, beta males selling makeup, and that's just not okay, because they're the ones that get shown, and they're just so great, and let's just celebrate them. Let's throw a parade for them. Let's show them how great they can be, and I'm sure their parents are proud of them, turning into such little pussies. I'm sure their dads love that happened to them. They just turn into, like, what happens to these, little kids that want to be tough as Wookiees, but then they grow up, and guess what? They're doing not something that's so good to see. It's a fucking awful thing. It's all these fucking born losers that are just growing up on YouTube, getting views for doing stupid things. They're not even doing anything useful. They're just selling products, and they're just part of a multi-channel network, and that's all they can do is they're just going to get hurt. That's what should happen, but they don't. But what happens is, it's crazy, and I hope you listen to this Adam's very interesting quote. What they're going to do is they're going to sell you a fucking product. They're going to make money off it. They're going to make money off the views that they pay to get, and it's just amazing that it gets to the point where, because now there's crazy threats all over the place where you get fucking interviewed by the president just if you come out and you say that this is the way that life is going to be, and you just, instead of actually working hard, being part of the blue-collar mafia like I am, you just fucking get your fucking bars out, and then you also rhyme, and you go inside, and you clock in and clock out, and you put in over 55 hours a week like I do, and I'm actually, according to the media, I'm on the wrong route because I actually work hard for money. No, instead, all you got to do is hit yourself in the fucking head really fucking hard. Make sure you get brain damage. Make sure that you get scarred. Make sure that your head is going to be lobotomized to the point where you don't know who you are. You don't know where you came from. You don't know how far you've traveled to get to the point where you are. And then all of a sudden you just got to put on the saddle and you got to keep riding it till it fucking breaks. And then what you do next is you go on the internet, you sell these stupid fucking things, and then what you do is you cry and you whine about every single problem instead of tackling them head on like I've had to do all of my life because, I'm tough as a fucking guy that grew up in Harlem that had no help getting anything done. He had to do it all himself. He had to work very hard. He had to improve his own health even though there was nothing safe around him. Every single stretch and corner he turned into, he just fucking got hurt and he just got left for dead in a sense. But, a guy like that works hard, doesn't do anything wrong, doesn't do anything with ill intent towards other people, he actually gets treated less than equal. And that's fucked up because then you get these, very disrespectful people that go on YouTube and they sell fucking stupid makeup products and they whine about how stupid they are and how life has, broadened their possibilities of doing anything useful, when then what happens is they get millions of views and then they get millions of dollars because that's what they use for it. It's a fucking, YouTube has become something evil, and you knew this shit because you saw it happen. You saw the evolution of it happening in front of your eyes, and it's okay because it's a stupid covenant of people that get together and they just want to, rape the world of all this fucking money, and it's not fucking funny. We have starving countries, and yet they're the people that get treated the best. It's crazy because I'm actually working hard as I fucking can. I mean, Jesus Christ, if I was a bird, I would have fleed from that nest in that instant of it, because I would have just came flying right out of the fucking coop. You know, it's one of those things that's like, what else do you fucking do? You know, I bust my ass to do crazy ass work in real life, and then I come here and I rap for YouTube, and I don't get the views I fucking deserve, and you know that, because all you're gonna do is take a blow back, like you fucking passing the hookah stick, and then you take it, pass it to me, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna taste a horrible taste in my mouth, and I'm gonna really reduce the shit. I'm gonna definitely not touch that ever again, because it probably would give me a fucking crazy ass headache. Because imagine what would happen to somebody who hasn't smoked and all of a sudden they try smoking again. You know what happens to that? It's crazy. I'm going to tell you a different crazy quote. Again, it's what happens is you got something crazy. Do you know what I'm about to say? What words will come? It's called virgin lungs. That's what happened to you when you get smoked the first time. And that's what happens to go against Adam Stark. You get smoked, and it's going to happen because you're going against a guy with crazy ass, very dirty rhymes, and you're going to go against me with your stupid, very worsened rhymes, your rhymes that don't even coincide with any sort of attack patterns. You just rap erratic, like I do when I'm freestyling, but battling is different because I have a very good battling average. Like, as if I was a baseball player, I have a good batting average, and besides that, I can play baseball with no hands, no baseball bat. It's actually a fact that I could use my baseball bat, aka my dick, for that, and in fact, that's also above average as well. TMI, oh well, TGIF, thank God it's Friday, I'll just change the subject and use a different fucking, what do you call it, abbreviation for something else, because you need to be inebriated to listen to something, you know, unhealthy as these fucking crazy ass YouTube, stupid ass people that are becoming wealthy off of, you know, these dumb, unemployed, also self-deprivating, unhealthy people that just, you know, become famous overnight for doing nothing. It's stupid. It's like having a turkey without having that delicious, awesome, or in your case, gruesome stuffing. It's like becoming a fucking vegan and you're standing in front of a sausage fest. You know, it's becoming like that point, because that would suck. You know, that would be awful. Less that was, you suddenly converted your eating habits, and that's okay, because I'm crazy and I'm coming up with words that are crazy, and I'm definitely doing some deep breathing habits, because as you can see, I'm running out of breath a lot today. It's because I had been to fucking work many hours, and it was just not the case for me to be in a good mood for it, because, you know, I'm wearing myself out, and now I'm trying to freestyle, and it's hopefully it'll help out. Hopefully it'll get me to the best route, as if I'm trying to go follow my GPS and see where it wants me to go. Where does it want to see me next? Or is it going to, you know, what's it going to do? Is it going to tell me to take this turn or that one? Oh, the light went off. Hold on. Oh, okay, I just fixed that. And then let there be light. That's what God would say if he was right here, because that's what happened. He was an aristocrat. At least I'm assuming he was, because he was one of the people that, well, he's not a person, I guess. Is that supposedly what's supposed to happen? I'm supposed to say that he was somebody that was better than all of us because he created us, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping it's true, because if it's not, then it was crazy that it just happened this way, where I was happening to rap in a different way, and I took a different change, and I changed my route. Like I just said, I was using the GPS. All of a sudden, it told me to take a U-turn, but I actually took a W-turn, as if I turned 2 lefts at the wrong area, the wrong place, the wrong lanes, and I happened to pivot in the wrong way, the wrong direction, and then all of a sudden I tried to rob this person who crashed into me, and it didn't work out very well, because it was actually a woman, and then I got a hard erection, and then that didn't look very well, and it wasn't very convincing that I was somebody that was going to do what I was actually planning on doing. So all of a sudden I had to run away because it was embarrassing, and that wasn't part of it. One of the things I was going to say was not it, because Adam Stark is this. I'm somebody who comes up with a crazy story in just a half of a second, and then you're about to listen, you're about to witness, I'm starting to say something crazy that you wouldn't have thought I was going to say, because you're not about this business. You're about listening to good rhymes, good raps, and all of a sudden you hear somebody that's about to do that, who's not about to have a pot to piss in. And I say all that to say this: I'm a crazy ass rapper who is not about to listen to anything else, because I'm just showing you that I can come up with a crazy story, and I can also rap fast about it. I can come up with the story in any instant of a second, and it can start from the end or the beginning, or I can easily mediate my way through it, and it can do that without you also being not one to contribute to it, but you will listen to it. You will do that, that's for sure. And I can guarantee that for sure, because I can grab your fucking attention like an attention grabber, which is a statement at the beginning of a paragraph in your first draft, in your opening introductory statement. And it's crazy that I say it, because I make the statement with very blatant hatred for other people that want to make it and want to take away the hatred that I have for these fucking piss poor, retarded, fucking terrible rappers out there today that make money, and they don't pay back because they give you trash music, and that's not good. I mean, trap music is one thing. That's one genre, and that's okay. I understand it. You can vibe, you can clash to it, you can, listen to it crazy, you can just fucking boom, you can bounce around and you can crash through it. It's just something I don't like, is that the fact that it sucks. It's, it's unfortunate that rapping is not so good. It's not so tough because it's done by people that suck at it. If only it was done by good rappers who actually give a fuck about rapping. They actually want to fucking have it. They want to fucking take control of the wheel and handle it well, responsibly, like you were fucking driving the Pope through to the Vatican and you were part of his security team or something. You take care of it at that level of practice. When it happens, I will be surprised, and Adam Stark will actually have a point to stop rapping angrily as much as I do, because I would love to say, oh, good, there's a lot of other good rappers out here, but there really fucking ain't. That's not the truth. Most of them suck. I mean, Jesus H, it's like a fraction of it is a lot of them suck at the stuff. It's not even funny. They don't even rap as much. They just fucking make sound effects, and that's just crazy, because that's going to get me very, like, Ronda Rousey vexed, like when she gets fucking bad at everything. Could you imagine seeing that woman on a period? Jesus Christ, she'd beat the fucking living shit out of everybody around her, and I don't know why I just rapping about her. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's definitely my celebrity crush. I'm just saying, she just happened to come out of the rhyme first. Like, I must have been thinking out about her before, and all of a sudden I came out of this verse. I mean, a verse, obviously I just dispersed words, but I said verse, even though it wasn't a verse technically, because it's a freestyle, but a verse happened to rhyme with the way I was going, because I just happened to say it anyway, because why not? I mean, this is an open-ended conversation. It's an open discussion, right? It's one of those things that you hope that you're not fucking her right, because if you are or aren't, she'd probably beat your ass for that reason too. Why am I still talking about her? I don't know. It just wouldn't have, I guess I feel like I need to do it. I don't know why, but maybe I'm just conceded to it, to the truth, that is. And it's one of those things that, I'm speaking to the youth that's still old enough to hear swearing, because I don't want to speak to people that are too young to hear swearing, obviously, because I'm not an evil person with evil intents. I just happen to say things in a hypothetical sense, because I like to fucking rap and be angry and be evil, and all that combined into one pot, that I'm stewing it up like I'm a fucking crazy little person that's been back to the times of medieval era, and that ages, and because that's crazy, and I'm just bringing the rage without fucking beating people with rakes and shit. I just fucking get them a fucking spearheaded, and then hopefully after that, take the brains out. Maybe then they'll be clear-headed, who knows, we'll see. They'll be clear-headed to death, anyway, I guess, and that wasn't technically a double, I don't think, and if it was, cool, then I just got more points than I thought I fucking had, then more than I fucking think I was going to give, but that's okay, because I'm coming up with crazy rhymes, and I'm at the brink of it. I'm just breaking everything that comes in my way, because, I'm sinking the ship like a fucking captain that goes down with the ship. Well, I'll fucking sink the shit, and I'll prove that I'll go down with it anyway, because I have gills, so I'll be breathing in the water anyways, and I'll just swim myself out of it, because I'm just proving a point that I can come up with anything. I can survive any situation that you thought I couldn't, say it anyways. But I got way off topic. That's okay. That's part of the game. But I'm just trying to prove that it's my birthday. I turned 24, and I'm happy about it. Got some good plans. It's going to be fun, and I'm sure I'll be rapping around that time as well, and it'll be a great old time. And it's what I do. I just fucking go kill off everybody on myself, on my own, and I'll just, beat them all to death. And I don't got my chrome because I don't need to use weapons to do it. I got the most vicious fucking verbal warfare coming out of my mouth, and it will just bruise its everything in the path. It'll bruise its things, variables getting in the way of its course. And I'm just playing, of course. This is all hypothetical, but I'm just rapping because, I'm crazier than playing Crazy Horse with fucking broken leg and you got an eye patch on, and that wouldn't work very well because, my ad's wrong. You look at my commercials and it's disgusting, like, fucking, like, you're going on an entire tirade of my bad thoughts, and it just put it all into one sentence together, and it won't be cohesive because it's one of those things that you couldn't rhyme as strong as it would be if it was coming from Adam Stark. But that's okay, because, I'm still rapping with this fucking light on that'll go out again because it's after dark, and I have to use this in order for you to see me. Otherwise, it would look suspicious, wouldn't it? If you don't fucking see what I look like, then what the fuck am I doing? But I happen to rhyme with the light on, so you can see what I'm doing as I'm making this for it, and then you can be more in tune with what I'm saying. So, anyways, like I said, I'll just fucking keep going solo, beating people up as tough as I would if I was with my Wookiee friend, Chewbacca, because that Han Solo would be friends with him because they would fight people together. So even though he's solo, he's fighting with the teammate. Isn't that ironic? And isn't that how that works? Doesn't that seem great? But anyways, I'm just saying, I put myself in that position, like a mercenary position, like virgins when the sex is new. I don't know, that was a weird line to try and execute, but I don't know, mercenary position, I don't know, hopefully it made more sense on camera than it did when I just said it now, but that's okay, because I'm just coming up with crazy rhymes every single day, and you better just fucking accept it now. Alright, happy birthday to me. Peace.